I'm curious, when did you become aware that you were Black? Like when, like, I feel like there's a moment where there's
Okay.
like a,
Okay.
like an awakening of like, oh, I'm Black and this is what being Black means to me.
I am
What,
other, like they say.
Okay. Yeah, no, I
what,
really
yeah,
want
an
to answer
othering
this.
moment, maybe an othering moment.
I
We
really want
talked
to answer
about,
this. Yeah,
we
this
talked
is
about
good.
times that we've been called the N-word. I mean, Mo's got stories, I've got stories. We talked about times where we just realized we were not like all the other people around us because we grew up around mostly white people. So what's your I'm Black moment?
Okay. Okay. I do like this. This is a good question. Go ahead and edit this and throw this in the beginning while they're still paying attention.
Right.
Um,
Before they cut out.
no, honestly, I will say that the moment that I had that was, oh God, it was right before Trump's presidency, like during the whole presidential campaign.
Wow.
That's when I really had that moment because I was sitting in a church and I was the only Black man in the church. The whole church was basically white, native, Hispanic. And the moment that everyone's kind of, on this sort of conservative, like Blue Lives Matter kind of stride, that's when I really noticed my skin color. And so I really had
Mm.
a hard time going to that
That
congregation.
late. That
Yeah,
late in your life. That was the
because
first
the
time you
rest
were
of the
like,
time in life, I've pretty much never looked at my skin, never worried because I've always really thrived on being eclectic and being so diverse and like, oh,
yeah,
I'm gonna like sushi and I'm gonna like heavy metal and I'm gonna like skateboarding and I'm gonna like all
yeah.
the stuff that isn't accessible to me. I'm gonna go outside of, the things that are marketed directly to me. And I've always lived that way.
I have a question about that though.
Okay.
Giving
Because
it power.
well, I'm wondering because you and I grew up in, I mean, we went to high school in the same high school, same environment.
Right.
Um, and I feel like I was very different in high school because of what I was surrounded by, the music I listened to, the way I dressed, um, the people I dated, all of that. And it
Right.
wasn't until for me, I went to college and I was around not a whole lot of Black people, but I went to UCLA. So I mean, there were Black people there. There was Black culture stuff. I had no idea. You asked me what Black culture is, I couldn't tell you.
Right.
Right. And so I don't know. I'm kind of curious and I'm just asking. This has no, I mean, whatever your answer
Yeah.
is whatever. But do you think that was by choice or was that an attempt to fit in with the people around you?
So when I was like 12 or 13, my parents kind of reeled me in. I was going to Mountain View Middle School in Moreno Valley at the time, and my
Yeah.
parents kind of reeled me in because I was always walking home with all the Black kids, and they were kind of telling me about how when they were growing up it was a little rough and how I had to kind of work twice as hard as like the white kids, and essentially like they were telling me like, not to get caught up with like the hoodlum kids, right? Like to kind of
Hmm.
separate myself to not be like brought into a stereotype. So I think right then at that time, an impressionistic age, like
$180.
I
Yeah.
stopped like kind of hanging around the kids that eventually did go to gangs. I mean, they
Yeah.
did go to
Yeah.
gangs and
Oh.
whatnot. And I started just kind of, you know, putting
Doing your
myself
own
around a
thing.
more diverse crowd and whatnot. And I'll tell you, it wasn't really, like I said, like around the same time that I was like, that I noticed my skin color, like maybe like a couple months later from that, a dude that I know at work, um, he had pulled me in. He's another Black man. And he pulled me in. He was like, "Yo, bro." He's like, "What's up, my brother?" And he hugged me, and I felt like this sort of out of body experience, kind of like I felt light on my feet for a moment because I was like,
Aw.
"Wow, I've never felt the embrace from another Black
A
man like that."
connection.
And I was
Yeah.
like, "Wow!" I was like, "That was amazing." And I thought, man, I really like. I felt like the love.
Oh,
I
I'll
felt like a
cry.
part of it. I felt a
Aw.
part of
Yeah.
it for a minute, and
Uh-uh.
I was like, wow, like that. I've told this to so many people, and I told this to that guy. I said, man, I said I've never felt that connection with another Black man like that. I felt like I was genuinely a part
You
of a
belong to
tribe.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like you
Yeah.
belonged.
and I
Yeah.
was like,
This is
wow,
crazy.
like. And then I went to another event where, again, there was just lots of Black folk there, and like, and it was like, I mean, you had a good array of it. You definitely had like the African like descent as well. Like you could see it, like you had it all spread out,
Mm.
and they were just like, "Hey, how you doing, my brother?" Like, love you, this and that. And I was just like, man, this is so amazing. Like,
Yeah.
and
There's an energy. It's
it
like a,
just seems
yeah.
so like
Tribe.
tucked away, like so tucked away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the way the diamonds in the rough. Like that's how it
Yeah.
was. And so that's always kind of been my motivation when I created this Black Diamonds group we were once diamonds in the rough, but now it's time to rise and shine. You know what I mean? It's time to.
Oh, look at Chris.
And so I just want to like, I want other people to have that same experience. And so this journey for me is a journey to like get more in touch with that side of like life that I don't know, and to really embrace and really try things, like really, like I just bought a book. It's the Adinkra symbols and alphabet. Like it's like the language of the Asante people, like the West Africans. So like I just bought a book to kind of learn the alphabet, and then I was on YouTube the other day looking up the cuisine, because we have some soccer players that are from Ghana and from Uganda, and I'm like, man, I really want to try to get in touch with some of this cuisine and taste some of this stuff and learn some culture and embrace this, because I don't know that.
Do you know where your history goes back to? Like, have you done like an 21andMe type thing or any of that?
23s, and all I know is
or 23. Like, was it 20? What did I say?
Is it 23 or something like that?
21. 21.
Oh yeah. Right. No. All I do know about my family currently is that like we have Scottish, Choctaw, Indian, and like and of course like Black. I mean, Black America. Yeah. I don't know where
But you don't know where that came from.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from. That's what
Scottish.
Yeah, we got Scottish. We got Choctaw, Indian. Because like I said, my family.
Ooh, y'all should do 23andMe, because I feel like Chris Rock has a joke or whatever. He did a DNA thing, and it's like the Black people always say they're Native American.
Indian. Yeah, everybody got Indian.
And then they'd get the test and it's white, but it was like almost a way to like take away the shame of from slavery. So I was like, damn, that's deep.
Right.
Well, because we all have a little white in us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I even have a little bit.
I've got a lot of it.
Every day.
Oh no. Dead. Done.
That's funny.
No,
what,
but
though?
my dad
Emily,
did the
I
thing,
always thought I always thought you were just a mixed Black girl though the whole time. I never knew.
I am.
Yeah.
I am.
Oh. Well, no, but I thought you said like
my mom's Filipino.
Yeah,
my mom's Filipino and my dad's Black.
Okay,
so,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So